Now we can see here, when we are study about the constructions for the DC generator, at that time our fourth part is nothing but the armature core. So here you can see these armature core slots are used for holding the armature winding, because we are using the armature, that is the rotor of the DC machine. So here we can say we are making the armature winding, and these are used in the closed circuit, because we are connecting these in a series to parallel to enhance the sum of produced current, because by using the DC generator we are supposed to generate the electricity. That's that's why we can connect this winding in series to parallel form, because if you see we are putting the field winding, these are in the series and these are on the poles. After that we are giving this, if you see this field winding we are giving to the armature. If you see we are calling this as the armature, and on that armature we are making the armature winding. So we can say that winding as the armature conductor, because this will store the energy that will be in the form of magnetic field. After that, we can see here we are using the commutator. These are nothing but the commutator on which we are putting this, the outer black. We are saying this as a brushes. If you see on the same on the both sides of the commutator we are using the brushes. If you see, commutator is also working as a rotationary part in the DC machine, and the commutator is working as a rectifier, because it will convert AC voltage into a DC voltage. And if you see, after the armature winding, there is inside the armature we are putting there the commutator. If you see this, this will also work, look like a circular, and it will on the working of commutator is like a rectifier, because it will change AC voltage to the DC voltage, and it will be inside the armature winding, and it will have the brushes across the commutator. It is designed with the copper segment, because it is a good conductor, and each copper segment is protected from each other with the help of mica sheets. It is located on the shaft of DC machine. If you see, we are saying commutator will work as a rectifier, because when we will give the supply, that will be in the form of AC. After using the commutator, we will get that voltage into the DC form, because as a commutator, we are using the copper segment. After that, what we are seeing, we are using the brushes on the sides of commutator. So we can see here, these are nothing but the brushes. ये जो black से on the outer side of the commutator. So we can say about the brushes as the electrical components. This can be insured between the commutator as well as the exterior load circuit. Because if you see here inside the DC machine, inside, what is this? This is the commutator. And what we are saying, we are putting the brushes. These are on the outside of the commutator. So we can say these are insured in between the commutator and in between the exterior load circuit with the help of brushes. And these collect the current from the commutator, because these are made up of the carbon or the graphite. What we are saying, if there is a question about explain the constructions for DC machine, or there is question explain the construction for a DC generator or a DC motor, we are saying theoretically DC generator and the DC motor are having the same construction. So I have written here the description for each and every part which we are using in the DC generator and the DC motor. I have given here their functions, which materials we are using to make these parts. I have explained shortly. So we can see here about the yoke. We can use material that can be cast iron or a cast steel, but instead of cast iron we can use cast steel to reduce the, sorry. So what we are saying here, we can use here cast steel instead of cast iron to reduce the chances of blowholes. And if you see the functions of yoke are, it is giving the protection. So it is the main cover of the DC generator after the frame. It acts as protecting shield for the DC generator. It will give support that will be in the form of mechanical for the assembly of the DC generator, or we can say it is give mechanical support to the pole. It also carries the magnetic flux that are produced by the poles. After that, we can see about the field winding. These are nothing but the pole coils. We can use field winding by using the material copper because it is a good conductor and we are supposed to generate the EMF. So each pole core has one or more field winding placed over it to produce the magnetic field, and field coil are former that are placed on each pole and that are connected. These are connected in the series. They are wound in a such a way that when they are energized, they will form the magnet and which will work in two directions, north and south pole. After that, what you are saying? The poles. Many times these poles will have the pole shoes. So we can use thin cast steel to make the pole shoes. And these are joined to the yoke with the help of welding or the bolt. It carries support to the field winding. And to support the field winding, it will provide the area to wound the field winding, and it will also give support to spread out the flux in the air gap which we are having the air gap on the armature winding. After that, we are using the armature core. So we can use the material like silicon steel to make the armature core. And as we are using the silicon steel, it can reduce the eddy current losses. And we are saying about the functions like it is the rotationary part of the DC machine. It is look like a cylindrical inner shape, which is having the air gap. So we can say it is cylindrical in shape with slots to carry the armature winding. It may be provided with the air gaps for airflow for the cooling purpose. After that, armature winding. We can use copper to make armature winding, and it is the heart of DC machine because it is laminated to reduce the current losses. And these are mainly used for holding the armature winding. There are lots of armature core we are using to hold the armature winding, and these are used in the closed circuit. It is connected in series to parallel for enhancing the sum of produced current. After that, we are using the commutator inside the armature winding which we can made from the copper bar. And if you see, we can made from number of weight shift hard drawn copper bar are the segment which are insulated from each other. It is work as a rectifier because it will convert AC voltage into a DC voltage. After that, on the commutator we are putting the brushes. It is designed with the copper segment, and each copper segment is protected from each other with the help of mica sheet. Here we have finished about the construction of DC generator, and if you see the construction for DC motor, it is also having the same construction theoretically. Remaining we will see in the next class. Now I am taking your attendance. If anyone is facing any issue, you can ask me. Who have not submit the assignment, you can submit the assignment on the classroom. Okay. Is there any issue? Okay. Thank you. You guys can leave now.